Miss, are you currently dating someone? Yes, but they live in another nation. What nation? My imagination.
Hey everybody, it's your girl Asia May. Welcome back to episode 1, part 2 of my new series, Road to DVM. If you haven't, go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe, and be sure to click that bell notification so that you can be notified whenever I post on my channel. Here's a clip of part 1 in case you missed it. The link to this video is in the description box below. But we're going to go ahead and get started with part 2. All right.
Discouraged me. I dealt with a lot of financial things in college, especially senior year. Senior year, I ended up having to take a semester off, and I started working at the job that I actually previously left this year. And so everything was set up really good. I love how God worked that out for me, honestly, because I didn't see it. Man, if I really think about my entire college, just academic career, academic experience, majority of my walk has literally just been a faith walk. It's been times where my back was literally against the wall and I felt like, oh hell no. Where you at? And he just came through, showed out. One thing I am excited for about in this new journey is my level of faith. My faith wasn't there. My faith wasn't where it should have been. And even in that journey, especially during college, everything I went through, God literally started showing himself to me, not just in his hand, but his face. He really started revealing himself to me. I became more appreciative of the things that I had and I took for granted, just life in general. Like, my eyes were open. It'll be days where I would walk on campus. Like, I was just so happy. If I really think about all the experiences that I had, no matter how crazy and how hard it was, I was happy. I was happy, even in where I was at. I was content with where I was at. It would be days I was walking on campus, and Grand Valley is a beautiful campus. Beautiful. Way before they started adding all these unnecessary buildings. It was very pretty. It was like a lot of fields. We were in the middle of like kind of nowhere on the main campus. It was 2 campuses. And so when I'm walking on campus, it's just pretty. It'll be times where the sun will be setting after I'm getting out of my last class in the afternoon, like later on that evening, and it'd be so pretty, like pretty pinks and pretty blues and purples, and I just be like, or the birds would just be chirping, and I'm just looking around like, man, God, I made it. Like, I'm still here. It's junior year. No matter how hard it is, I'm still here. You got me together. I get this stuff. It was just good. It was great. One thing I did learn, especially I learned about myself. I'm a visual learner. I'm hands-on. So that kind of makes sense as far as why I like science so much. Science just has always been my favorite subject, and ultimately that was just perfect for what I desired to do. And so one thing I will say, in college, utilize the tutors at Grand Valley. They gave us tutoring for free, and it was a lot of the core classes were a bit hard. Like, I think I underestimated the level of easy, or underestimated the level of complexity that was connected to these classes. And like I said, I experienced a whole bunch of trials and tribulations, and ultimately my focus wasn't where it should have been. So I ended up getting to my senior year. I had to take a semester break. And I ended up joining my church home that I'm at now. And I mentioned before, Word in Action Christian Center International is in Detroit. Yeah, so if anybody's in Detroit and y'all just want a covering, or just in general, because we is global, we are international. We is, and I meant is on purpose. Y'all can go ahead and follow us and join. Go ahead. But I ended up joining that church, and it's been a blessing ever since. Y'all, like, my eyes have just been open.
Oh my God! Wow! Oh my God!
Like, my heart has changed. My faith has just been so increased. And I will mention this story. So, I had financial issues in college, because like I said, I didn't graduate with the highest grades, and then on top of that, only certain grants applied to myself. And so my senior year, I ended up leaving because I was $2,000 short. Actually, I was $1,500 short of paying for some classes that I took over the summer, because I was also working in housing. So in housing, you get free housing, so you really don't have to pay for anything, but you still have to pay for your classes. And I took some classes, and like I said, I'm a science major, so I was taking upper level classes, and the higher the level, the more it costs, because I'm taking more lab classes, I'm taking more science classes, and so they cost a little bit more, a little bit more than regular classes would cost. And so my last semester, my junior year, I was staying up there in the summer, and I took a few classes. I also worked 3 jobs, y'all. I was working. I worked at Starbucks. I was shadowing a veterinarian for an entire summer. That was so fun. And then I also worked at Panera. So I was working. I was busting my butt off, okay? But then I took some classes, and that following year, I was $2,000 short, not 2,000 years. And they was just like, all right, you gotta go. And at the time, we had more things to take care of, and I'm like, as much as I didn't want to, I ended up having to stay home. And so, if I really, really go into detail with that whole entire experience, because it's really more to that story, but I don't want to go too much into it. That experience was difficult for me, because I was so focused. Like, as much as I was on my own doing things that I was setting the standard. My brothers, they had went to college, but they never got a chance to really finish. And I'm like, I have to go. Like, I got to keep my word. You know what I'm saying? I need to finish this. I didn't want to stop. Y'all, when I tell you I cried so much. I was over my auntie's house, and I was spending the night with my cousins, and it was right before they were leaving for college, and I was just crying. Like, y'all, I was so hurt. I was like, I remember that moment all too well. I remember like yesterday. But I didn't see, a lot of times we just don't see it. We don't see it. And this is so important to have faith, because at that time I didn't see it. I didn't see how it was going to work out. I'm like, I honestly looked at a break, and I'm just going to be totally honest, even though this is not true. I looked at taking a break as failing. I'm like, man, I'm failing. I'm not keeping my word. I said I was going to do this, that, and the other, but sometimes detours are blessings, and you really don't know what God has in store. And so what happened was, I ended up taking a break, and I had a mentor, and she was a science major too. She was good at chemistry, and she was like, They had like this position open, and the person who was holding it at the time, she was pregnant, and she was about to go on to maternity leave, and they needed someone like ASAP. And my mom was like, you should go up and just talk to them about it. And y'all know how mamas be. I didn't move quick enough, so she did it. And so I ended up getting a job, and I walked into a job that was $43,000 every year. You know what I mean? $20 an hour. What's up? Benefits and insurance, dental insurance, eye insurance, just Period. I had the best insurance in the world. Then on top of that, I had discounts because I worked at this university. Like, the way God let me walk up in this thing, and I was quick with it. Like, I was getting stuff on top of that. And so I was there for about a semester. And then, like I said, I went to the best church on this side of heaven with the best leaders on this side of heaven. And I needed to register for classes. So even during that time, people were like, okay, Asia, so when you going back to church? When you going back to church? When you going back to school? And y'all, at the time I was not registered. I hadn't even looked online yet, but I just kept saying January. Yeah, I'm going back January. That was just the first thing, January. And there was some times I didn't believe it. I'm like, January. I kept saying it, January. I spoke it into existence. And so I ended up going back to school in January. Like, I ended up registering in January. Like, the late registration, I was late for late registration, and I still ended up getting in towards the end of January. So it happened. Like, my mustard seed faith got me in that school in January. So I ended up getting back that last semester. And so what happened was I took some classes. I took majority of my classes that I had left, but I was just ready to go. All my friends were gone. And then the person I was dealing with at that school, y'all, she didn't like me. And it was trying so hard to get me out of school. Like, even when I got back up there, she was giving me a hard time. And so I was just over it. I'm like, all right, God, I'm a super senior at this point. I got to bust it. I got to figure out how to graduate a little earlier so I can go. So it was a winter semester, and I actually found out, and if anybody is interested in this, especially those who live far away and, you don't have the means to, just take care of yourself in the places that you are in. I lived in Grand Rapids. I was 3 hours away, and money was a little funny on my last semester because I wasn't working. So God took me from this nice job with all these benefits to not having it, and then going back to school, no job, having to suffer this, that, and the other, suffering for him. And I'm just like, okay, And so I didn't have a job. I was living off campus because I wasn't able to get back on campus anymore. Like, they was that out for me. And y'all, so I figured out a way to be able to graduate on time, because if I didn't, I would have been still there and I wouldn't have left until the summer, and I didn't have the funds to stay there till the summer. And so I found out I only had 15 credits left. So 5 of it was one class that I was able to find in University of Michigan, Dearborn. So this is what happened. So there are schools that offer, and I think they offer this at majority of universities, where if you can find classes that are transferable from different universities that count, you can find classes that the credits are transferable and they are the same as yours. So if you find an equivalent course at a different university, they have these things, these different agreements with different universities where their students can go and take the classes at their universities closer to home, and then once they finish it, they're able to graduate early. So pretty much you can graduate early, and then when you go home, you make this agreement with your advisor, your major advisor, that you will complete these classes during summer semesters or just whatever semester you desire to leave, and you could take those courses at home, and then once you finish, those credits will be then sent. The records, the transcripts will then be sent to the university that you're graduating from, and it will count, and then you'll get your diploma. So I'm like, bet, I'm out of here. So I ended up figuring out how to. I found the courses and the classes that were equivalent with mine at University of Michigan as well as Wayne State, because I worked there. And then I got it all together, and I ended up graduating. That last semester I went back. So that entire week was lit. I was so happy. That same week was also my birthday week, because my birthday always fell on the last day of school, of college. So that entire week was just lit. We had black graduation, we had regular graduation, we had my birthday, my family was there, and then we also had my birthday celebration. I have a niece that has the same birthday as me, so it was just lit. It was a whole entire just lituation. I was so happy. Like, when I say that is probably one of the top experiences that I've ever had in my life. Like, walking across that stage, y'all, like, high school it feels good, but when you walk across that college stage, man, it feels good. I feel like those are one of the top experiences. I know I have plenty more to go, but that was one of my top experiences. It felt so good. I was so proud. I remember one time, like even towards the end, when it was time for me to graduate, it was getting closer to the dates, and we started having toasts with our president. You know, they had this thing called the Toast with T. Haas. At the time, our president was T. Haas, and he did this little wine toast with us he did the wine toast with the graduating class every year, and we get to get all dressed up, and it was once all these graduation festivities started like happening, it really started hitting me, and I started thinking about my brother and just my family. And it was just one day I called my mom, and because I was done decorating my cap and I called her and I'm like, Mom, I'm graduating. And she's like, yeah, Asia, I'm proud of you. And I just burst into tears. I'm like, oh my gosh, I kept my word. I did it, y'all. I did it. It was such a great experience. Like, y'all, I did that. Can't nobody tell me nothing. I don't care if I'm taking class. I still did it, period. You know, I was so excited. And I'm still proud of myself as far as I've come. Like, so proud of myself. And that's one thing that I will, encourage you all to do. Okay, it may not be ideal wherever you are. Even if it is ideal, always give yourself credit. Give yourself credit. Stop and smell the flowers. Stop and look at all that God has given you the ability to do, and know that this is only the beginning. The things that we think that we're doing now, child, they ain't got nothing on what God got in store. That was just little snippets. They ain't nothing. The word literally says, eyes have not seen. That was literally the verse on my cap, y'all. Like, my cap, I think it was 1 Corinthians chapter 2, verses 9. If I'm wrong, I will correct myself at the bottom of the screen. My cap said, look, Tony, I did it. And at the bottom, the verse was 1 Corinthians chapter 2, verses 9. Eyes have not seen, ears have not heard, neither has it entered the heart of man what God has in store for you. And literally, my eyes didn't see it. My ears did not hear it. Like, that whole entire journey, that was just then. And look how far he's brought me now. So that's what I wanted to say. So I did graduate with a 2.75, but you know what? I'm going to talk about that later on when I talk about where I am. But pretty much I graduated with 2.75, and then the same job that I ended up working at during my break that I really didn't want to take, I ended up being able to walk my happy self right back in that place with even more money, same benefits, my own office, y'all, like presidential. Okay, God really set it up, y'all. The position that I had, it was very important in the department. Like, I had access to a lot of things. Like, y'all, I have favor. I still have it, but that favor was very evident. Like, I literally walked off the stage into a car back home. The job called me that following Monday and was like, we would like for you to start working at this job. Let us know when you want to start. And I had the privilege and the honor to say, thank you. I will see y'all in the next 2 weeks because I want to rest. Y'all, do y'all hear that? That's how God set me up. And it was lit too. Like, the money was good. I had my own apartment. Literally, everything laid out. God was like, you not seeing it right now, but when you do see it, it's gonna make sense. Y'all, like, God really, really showed out. But he did that. And I ended up staying at that job for about 4 years. But just like any job, anything that's not a part of your purpose, it starts to become more of a stronghold, than it becomes something to catapult you. I feel like everywhere we go, there's an assignment. There's something that's connected to it. There's a lesson. There's a strength. There's wisdom. There's something that we need to gain. And I definitely learned that. My job, they didn't play. Everything had to be on time. I learned pace. I learned a lot, especially when it came to clerical duties. But ultimately, it wasn't a part of my purpose. It wasn't part of what I was passionate about. So after a while, I started to become complacent and stagnant. And especially when you get to a job where the money is good, you kind of like, well, you know, I can live here. And then that's where you get stuck in that whole 9 to 5. I can do it. No, it's nothing wrong with a 9 to 5. But it is something wrong when you're doing something that you are not passionate about, and you decide to just stay there because you start to get comfortable and you're scared of stepping out on faith to do more, because more is always before you. A greater is always ahead. Like my apostle, he said this all the time. Greater is always ahead. Our best days are in front of us, and our best days are for sure consistent of things that we are passionate about, because whatever we're passionate about, God has already put in us. Like, it's for a reason. And so I end up leaving that job this year. And so this brings me to where I'm at now. So as far as academics goes, over that summer, even with me starting that job, I ended up taking 4 summer classes. So I took the science class. I absolutely adored that class. But the 3 classes the other 3 I had to take were just electives, random electives that I took. I passed one of them, but the other 2, they end up rolling over. So, you know, with the spring summer classes, they have some that are in the first half, some that are in the second half, but majority of them are the entire summer. And I was not looking as much as I should have as far as the details, and I end up picking 2 classes that rolled over into each other on top of a spring and then a summer class. Because it's elective, not all electives are like 3 or 4. Some of them are like 1 or 2. So I had to take a nice amount. And then on top of that, I coupled that with a full-time job. So I definitely underestimated the time that I needed. And if I really had the chance to, I would have dedicated that more to school than I would have this job, because it was only temporary. Do not make permanent decisions during temporary moments. That's just on period, you know. But where I'm at now, so I pretty much have to, the core class is taken care of, but I pretty much just have to take some elective classes. So the plan, y'all, is to get back in school in January. So just take some elective classes. This time though, I want to take some that's kind of dealing with what I like, not just science, but I'm also into entrepreneurial stuff, business, just any elective classes that I'm interested in. You know, as far as like I know for a fact I can pay attention to and just stay focused in. So the ecology class was 5 credits, so I have about 10 more credits to go as far as taking care of that, and then I will get my official degree in the mail. I do have a balance that I need to take care of with the classes that I took over the summer, but I did pay about, I paid about, not 2 bands, like a band and a half. I pay some money towards it, and then I just got to register. So I'm looking at a few colleges by me. I want to start in a community college, and then I want to go to a community college near me to just take those electives, because that's honestly all I need to take. And then before I start really pursuing veterinary school, I want to get my science GPA up. My major was biology, and with GV, with Grand Valley, they show you your transcripts, but they also break it down like, okay, this is your just college degree requirements right here. These are the core classes that you need to take, your grades, bet. Then you have your major requirements, your grades, your GPA for that, bet. Then you have the electives, and you know, they give you a GPA for that. And then any other core classes that you need to take. But my science degree, my science GPA, I was not really proud of, and I want to retake them. So I'm not a fan of chemistry, but I love biology. I love a whole bunch of other things. But now that I know myself, and I know myself more, and I'm also just really grounded in my beliefs and stuff like that, I do feel like this whole wisdom, this godly wisdom, can give me like an extra boost to just my drive. So I'm just like, I'm ready, I'm focused, I'm ready to go. You know, I don't want to live a life of regret or resentment. I want to live it out. This is the life that God has given me. I want to live it to the fullest, and my best life is gonna be lived regardless, and I want to leave my footprint. So this is where I'm at now. As far as work goes, I purposely left my job May 1st, right before this pandemic, to pursue school. So I'm fully focused I'm focused on where I gotta go to, and I'm focused on who I'm going to. Period. I decided to start this series just to hold myself accountable. Honestly, I was using everything. I have my own cosmetics company. Very proud of that. You can go ahead and follow me. My information is in the description box. I sell cosmetic brushes and tools. I do makeup on the side. I do a lot of stuff. I make logos. You know, I help people with their businesses. All that good stuff. I did it. But to be honest, I used it to avoid the very thing that God had already called me to do because of my fear. And I don't want to keep doing that. So I'm devoting time to this. It's God, then it's, you know, my family, then it's school, you know. And so it's all or nothing this year. So I am putting all my ducklings together. I purposely left my job, like, to leave a job that's giving you all of that, you know, and they gave me a raise. Every year you get a raise. Y'all, it had to be a move of God. And so I'm not going to stop here. If I'm able to make that step, I can make plenty of more with faith. So I'm excited. I started this series. I'm not going to hold you up. I was very scared because the first video God told me to do, I pretty much had to expose myself like this. I gave you all the stats, where I'm at. You know, I'm very smart, but I'm not going to lie and say that I did what I was supposed to do, because I didn't. So I'm here to show the non-cookie cutter way to make your dreams reality by faith. So no, I didn't have all A's in school. No, you know, I didn't volunteer as much as I should do. I know the requirements, you know, I know what I was supposed to do. I did attain some knowledge. So for those who are doing it the right way, you can still tune in. I have met some people, even by me posting this, I've met a lot of people. I have some great videos in store. For those who are in vet school, please feel free to comment anything. You know, I'm reaching out to you guys because I want to interview you. I want people to know what's going on, and I want people to see the godly way of doing it. I'm not sure how common it is for Christian people to be, you know, living the right way, not just saying they're Christian because they want to, you know, use it as an excuse to do something or validate the reason why they're operating the way that they should. No, I believe, and I also want to pursue this career. So I'm here. I'm showing y'all the transparent way, my journey, transparent, and being transparent, completely transparent. And I'm super excited. Thank you all to all that have been supporting. Thank you all so much. I mean it, you know, from the bottom of my heart. I love y'all. Thank you for those who have started following. Thank you for those who are in vet school and have followed me. You guys don't understand how much of an inspiration you are to me, you know, just encouraging me with this walk. It's so many things in store. Like, I got so many things on the horizon. So look forward to episode 2. This series comes out every other Friday. It's not gonna be every Friday, but every other Friday. But go ahead and subscribe. I do makeup, I do all types of stuff. I do vlog, I'm an influencer, I'm a YouTuber. So be sure to subscribe, comment any video ideas that you would like to see, especially for this series. And just, yeah, I'm super excited. I pray that this series just blesses you as much as I know it's going to bless me. And I just want you guys to know that there's nothing too hard for God. God literally specializes in making the impossible possible. And so I want you guys to see it firsthand with my life. And hopefully we can be like trees that give shade to people who need it, you know. We are all meant to be vessels. So if I can use my life, my journey, my testimony to be shade for you, I know for a fact that you can use your life to be shade for somebody else. And, you know, bless them. So yeah, I'm super excited. Thank you all for tuning in to episode 1. And that's on period. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see y'all in my next video.